Welcome back to Old Man Media. We're your hosts, Paul Buchanan and
Will Rag.
Old Man Media, the podcast that covers film, movies, books, and everything in between.
All of it, baby.
Yeah. Today we're going to be talking about Avatar 3, Fire and Ash. But before we get into that, I would like to give our deepest condolences to the passing of Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead.
Our condolences to the Weir family. Fantastic guitarist. Incredible. I'd just like to recite some lyrics from The Music Never Stopped. The sun went down in honey. The moon came up in wine. The stars made us so dizzy. Lord, the band kept us so busy. We forgot about the time.
That's beautiful. Did Bob write that, or is that?
No, Bob wrote that, I believe.
Nice.
Music Never Stopped. Yeah, great song. I've only fairly recently got into the Grateful Dead, to be fair, but yeah, Bob. I sucked that I never got to see Dead and Company live. But
yeah, we were literally talking about it like a month or two ago, and then Bob passed, which is real sad. But yeah, he lives on through the music for sure.
Definitely.
His legacy is huge, and his impact on modern music cannot be understated. So, thank you, Bob Weir, for everything. Do you have a favourite Bob Weir song?
The Greatest Story Ever Told. Which I was thinking the other day, they missed a trick not naming the Grateful Dead documentary The Greatest Story Ever Told, because that's like The Greatest Story Ever Told was like the name for like the biblical story.
They could have spelled it like The Grateful Dead, but like GRATEEST.
Yeah. See, they missed a trick there.
Yeah, they really missed a trick. If you are involved with any of the Grateful Dead's IP or
get us involved.
estate.
Yeah, the day you passed, I was like, oh, it sucks I never got to see Dead & Co. So we booked tickets to go see the Grateful Dudes in London.
Yeah, so if you're in London on the 13th of February...
Paul's birthday.
You can
Keep the date.
Come and hang out with the old men at the back at the Grateful Dudes concert.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Cool. So, Golden Globes just passed.
I didn't catch it.
Will's not been paying attention, man. He's too cool for the Golden Globes.
I fucking hate awards, though. I stayed up one time for the Oscars, and I was like, why am I doing this? It's 3 a.m.
Are we not going to stay up for the Oscars this year?
Well, we got... Okay.
I guess we've got to.
Okay.
It's our
Are we making that our thing?
Journalistic duty to the people listening into Old Man Media.
Yeah, I just... awards has never really... struck me as something I particularly care about, but I think it's interesting to think about what you think will win and why, but I just think people that vote on those things just don't care about film in the same way that we do.
I think it's very like virtuous and like it's like a kind of I don't know, it's kind of like a status thing to be like, oh yeah, I get to vote for this. And
one of the things that annoys me every year is when the Oscar voters come out afterwards and they say why they voted, and it's clearly they've not watched all of the films.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is watching. I haven't seen all the films, and watching films is quite time consuming. Yeah, I know, but I'm still saying, like, it's like we run a very tight ship podcast, and even we haven't seen all the
films. We're on a tight ship.
We run a tight ship at Old Man Media.
Yeah.
That's what they've always said about us.
They said we run a tight ship.
But anyway, I kind of paid attention to Golden Globes, and when I say that, I mean I didn't watch it live, but I've been watching clips, and I've been seeing bits and bobs and seeing who won. What I did like is there's that table with Sean Penn smoking a cigarette, and it's like, you're allowed to do that.
You did send me that.
That
was good. And then did you see that clip of DiCaprio? I did see this.
Where he is waving his arms about.
Very camp.
Yeah.
I would love to know the context of that clip. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to know who he's signaling to, because it seems like I can't tell if he's doing a bit or if he's just that's his general. Maybe he's had too many drinks and that's his general. Everyone gets a weird thing when they get drunk, and some people get like kind of dinosaur arms, and some people get like that, and it's fucking funny. Yeah. But did you see Mark Ruffalo
No?
Mark Ruffalo was going in on the establishment, man.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he's like, I'm
Did
wearing this pin. I can't remember. I can't. Then, and he starts going on, but he's like, our president just, illegally invaded like Venezuela, or you know, and just all this. He's going in, and it's, you know what? At a time where things are happening, you can't just be at your award shows. So yeah, exactly. Just being like, ooh, film and art, and it's like, no. Shout out to Mark Ruffalo for pointing out some of the things that should have our attention right now.
Yeah, I always really hate it when people are like, "Oh, you're a celebrity, like stick to your, what you do." But the whole point of film and art is that it does intersect with the real world and what our political landscape is, and these people do have to care about what's happening in the world. And Mark Ruffalo's always been really good at that. He's, not just because his politics are similar to my politics or whatever, but he is very well spoken, an incredible actor, and he's been very helpful to causes that are dear to him, and on top of all of that, he is just a great actor.
He's just a dude,
a great guy.
He's just an absolute dude.
Yeah.
But I thought I could play a fun little game with Will, because he doesn't know who's won anything. So I'm going to need you to turn away while I get up the Golden Globes.
I can't look at the screen. The screen is right in front of me. I'll just stare at my phone.
Stare at the wall over there.
Okay. That's a nice picture.
Okay. I am very surprised by who won the best animated motion picture. Okay. So you've got something called Arco, which I've never heard of.
Nope.
Demon Slayer, the Infinity Castle thing, which I
did see, yeah, I heard about that, but
I like
I didn't
Demon Slayer. It's good stuff. Elio, the Pixar thing that no one saw.
Yeah.
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, well, I've heard about that one. That one's big.
Little Amelie, or the Character of Rain. Looks cool.
No.
And of course, fucking heavy hitter, Zootopia 2. Who do you think won that category?
Well, going by popularity, I'm going to go K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Which is I tried to put Will onto this.
K-pop Demon Hunters. Yeah, you forced me to put it on the shit.
I put it on for him, and then I went to the toilet and I came back and it had been changed.
Yeah, that was terrible. The song, I've heard the songs. I work in a community centre, and it's just on all the time, and I just can't fucking escape it. Yeah, but the music's terrible. Do
you know what won the best original song?
I'm going to guess from K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah. It's a shame, because I don't know if you've seen Train Dreams yet.
No, I haven't.
Train Dreams is a very good film. You should check it out. But Nick Cave does a song co-written with the guy, the director, I believe. And yeah, it's a great song. Although it is kind of just like, it comes right at the end of the movie, and it's just like, Nick Cave is saying the whole plot of the film back to you over piano. It's kind of what Nick Cave does. I
love those types of songs. Though.
It's just like Nick Cave's just got this style, and he's got it dialed in. He's just like, you could sing me the weather report, and I would still think it means deep as shit. It's just like...
Sing me the weather report.
It's sunny with a cast of spell of rain.
With a cast of spell.
What was weird is that the category from best motion picture drama.
I'm gonna guess One Battle.
One Battle isn't even in that category.
Oh,
it's
really?
in the category of musical or comedy, and I was just like,
oh yeah, the Golden Globes was really weird about that. Like
stupid.
Like musical or comedy. I'm sorry, I'm reading these now. But okay, Blue Moon is a musical. It's based on a musical. Begonia is a musical or I guess it is a kind of comedy.
Marty Supreme, I feel like One Battle and Marty Supreme are dramas in a way. They have funny moments, but they're not. I don't know. It's just it's the same thing with music genres, where it's just like some things you can't put in but one box or the other. I don't know why it's musical or comedy. It should be a separate thing for musicals, and then a separate thing for comedies.
Why do they have two separate best motion picture categories?
It's a musical category, and they don't have a nomination for like Wicked or anything like that. If there was an actual musical category, there'd be like 6 musicals, and one of them could be Wicked. Not that I care about Wicked, but
You sound like you care about Wicked.
Just love Ariana Grande, man.
Why are musical and comedies lumped in together? I don't get that.
Yeah, it's stupid. Golden Globes,
You're stupid.
write to us. We're very keen to hear your reasoning.
I get the change, like putting animated stuff separately and putting documentaries separately. I get that, but then musical, I don't understand.
Which is, and then again, it's the same thing with the acting categories. You know, so you've got the musical or comedy, and then you got one battle after another on Mighty Supreme. Mighty Supreme, Timothy won it. Which is, I
don't know if he deserves that over DiCaprio.
Yeah. What was it? Did they have a supporting actor? Yeah. Tarina Taylor won it.
Really?
For just overall supporting actor in any motion
She's
picture.
not even in it that much. I guess.
Yeah, but she does set up the film very well, and you know.
Yeah, well, she's great.
iconic.
Don't get me wrong, but.
And then the supporting actor is Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value, which we're going to see today.
We are going to see today.
Yo. One battle after another. Best director, Paul Thomas Anderson. Best screenplay, Paul Thomas Anderson. Best original score, Sinners, which is funny. I wouldn't have given Sinners.
Oh, really?
I mean, I've not seen Sinners.
I mean, there's quite.
I want to hate on it so bad, man.
Why?
Don't know.
I mean,
just sick of it. No, I've not seen it. I don't know anything about
you
it.
haven't seen it.
I just know that it's like vampires, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's like."
It is like I didn't know it was going to be a vampire film when I saw it, and so going into it not knowing that, actually it was really really cool. But I don't know. There's a bit in it where like they have all of this like black music through the ages, and it goes from, because it's set at like a 30s dance hall or whatever, and they're playing blues music, and then it goes through. And then it has like ends up with twerking in a blues dance hall, and it's like that. It lost me there, because like up till then I was really on board, but I don't know. It's very odd.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way it goes.
Sorry,
man.
did I just see that right? Sorry, you were scrolling through.
Is it the comedy?
No, down.
Oh, all right.
Go down again. Best podcast. They do that now.
Come on, where's our nomination, man? Fucking put us on there.
Episode 8. Why aren't we on there?
Best podcast, Good
Call
Hang.
Her Daddy. Why did Call Her Daddy not win?
No, I don't know any of these podcasts. I think that's the alarming thing. There's no, come on. Where's Theo Von? And he's the boy.
I can't believe they're no best podcast.
Can't believe Theo Von wasn't nominated. It's rigged, man. Well, if you're listening Golden Globes, I hope you consider us for next year's nominations in the best.
How many podcasts do you reckon
best
have
comedy
that
or
joke in
musical podcast?
Best musical or comedy.
Have you seen the comedy, the stand-up?
They have the stand-up comedy.
Fucking Ricky Gervais, man.
Oh, I hate Ricky Gervais so much.
All
of those are terrible. Bill Maher, Burt Goldstein, Kevin Hart, Kumail Nanjiani, Ricky Gervais, Sarah.
This is what I'm thinking. It's
all
like
of them dog
the
shit.
bar must be so low if this guy is winning it. Which
I hate Ricky Gervais so much.
Yeah,
what a smug little fucking prick he is.
Yeah.
God, I fucking hate that man. God.
Yeah, like I think the person who accepted his award, I saw they came up and said like. They said a thank you to the trans community, and they said all this stuff because Ricky Gervais couldn't be there.
Right.
I think she was almost like trying to subtly throw shade at him, but I don't know. I only read that, so I haven't seen the video. I've seen how it was, the tone of what she said. But yeah, he's just such an idiot for that trans statement. And I've seen all the defenses of it, and it's like comedy's supposed to be scary, and we're supposed to discuss scary topics and make them normalized. And it's like parachute jumping out of a plane, and once you land, you're all safe again. And it's like, why is it scary? It's not a scary topic. It's what what you're saying to defend it is completely out of context, because it's not like what you said about the trans community is just you're just picking on an
already marginalised community.
Yeah, and you're not saying anything revolutionary. You're regurgitating memes from like 10 years ago about I identify as an attack helicopter or whatever the fuck.
Oh my god, that one, I'm so over that. Fucking hell. It's still going as well. Somebody said it to me yesterday. I don't get it. It's not funny.
It's not funny. It's so outdated. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
The equivalent of saying XD raw and someone. Fucking cringe ass guys.
Yeah. Ricky Gervais. I could talk about how much I hate Ricky Gervais for probably the rest of this episode, but it's best we move on.
Yeah, I feel
We
like.
actually have something to talk about today.
Okay, Avatar 3.
Fire and Ash.
Before we go into it, I have a fun little James Cameron factor. Do you know about how he got Terminator made?
No, I don't know.
So he was working in Hollywood and like a certain sort of crew members. I can't remember what his exact, like, I don't know if it was lighting or like different sort of techie things. Terminator. He had the script for Terminator, and he pitched it to different like production studios, and all of them were kind of down for it, but they were like, "We're going to get someone else to direct it," and he was like, "No, I need to direct it." But he hadn't had any previous directing experience. No one wanted to take a chance on him. Everyone was like, "This is too risky if you've not got any like previous success in directing." And then
was that really his first? It wasn't his first film, was it? Terminator? Was it his first film?
Not his like first, but his first like proper mainstream. He definitely did some student films and stuff like that. But because he was an unfamiliar director, no one wanted to take him on until he sold the script for $1 to Pacific Western Productions on the condition that he was allowed to direct it.
That's wow.
Which is like, he's got a lot of gall. He's got a lot of belief in himself to do that. Cause, selling the Terminator script for $1, and apparently like I think there was other people cast for the role of Terminator, but then when he like saw Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was like, "Yeah, no, this is my man. This is the guy."
Yeah, God, what a great film.
So from Terminator all the way to today. I also saw a really funny thing with Paul Thomas Anderson. He was getting interviewed, and he was like, "I think film schools should start from Terminator 2 and go backwards."
Because PTA loves Terminator. You see the interview where he's like, I dropped out of film school because on my first lesson there, they said, if you want to write Terminator, then get out of this class. And PTA was like, no, that's not how you should think about film. Like, if somebody wants to write Terminator, they should do that. You shouldn't be... and that, for me, was, genesis of like why I'm so into films, because in that same interview he talks about how if you like films you should just watch everything. Don't
K-pop Demon Hunters. Will.
God, that's come back to bite me in the fucking you should just watch everything. You should want to watch everything, all the films you can, and that's why I have a DVD collection of over 1,000 with mostly stuff I've not seen.
With mostly Adam Sandler comedy B-side movies.
I've got every Adam Sandler.
I've got 5 copies of Click.
6 copies of Happy Gilmore.
I saw a quote from Adam Sandler recently, and he was like, I'm gonna make like another 50 films before I die. At least half of them will be good.
He's so good because he's so self-effacing. He's so funny. I love Adam.
If you're listening, Adam, big fans. Love to have you on the pod. You can come sit in my bedroom.
I reckon he would,
fly out.
I'll fly you out to... let's not stay where we live. But anyway,
so Avatar 3.
We went to go see this together, and the 3D IMAX. First time 3D IMAX. What was your impression?
I don't know. I haven't seen a 3D film in the cinema for a while, and it was like when I first put on the glasses, I was like a bit uncomfortable, and like I was like a bit kind of like rolling my eyes. I was like, you don't need these 3D glasses. And then like an hour into the film, I was like immersed, and I was like, I don't want to take them off ever.
Yeah, you forget you're in a cinema.
Yeah, once you ease into the experience, and James Cameron's very good at doing that. I think. But yeah, I actually think this is the strongest one in the series so far. But then I was like, I'm not sure if it's just because I've seen it in the cinema. The other ones, I think the first one, I watched it the first time at a friend's house, and their dad had just gotten a 3D TV.
Really?
Remember when those were
They were, yeah.
But like you had like these battery-powered like glasses that you put on, and it wasn't like the best 3D.
I don't think I've ever used battery-powered 3D glasses.
There's a reason you don't see many home 3D TVs nowadays, and they weren't very good. So I wouldn't count that as an immersive experience. And then I watched the second one, just like flat out 2D screen,
Yeah, what? Not at the cinema.
Just at home.
Sorry, no, I was gonna say I watched the second one as 2D cinema, and Yeah, I don't. It was. I think it was better seeing it 3D IMAX for sure.
Yeah, it's a spectacle, and the amount of effort that they put into the film being 3D, and just the amount of stuff like technology that goes into making these films. I will speak on later. I think, yeah, you need to see it 3D while it's in cinemas. I think it's just like, it'd be a shame not to if you care about film or care about the spectacle of film, which it is a bit of a spectacle. That's the thing. When you hear someone like Scorsese say, some movies are roller coaster rides, I'm like, for sure, but does it mean it's not a good, fun roller coaster ride?
But the thing with James Cameron, I think he does really well, is that he knows that cinema is a spectacle, and it is the dream factory or whatever. But he also does integrate some like real ideas into it, and he is like just a genuinely great filmmaker. I don't think you could not be a great filmmaker but then also have like 4 or 5 $1 billion. I don't know. Well, maybe Marvel have, and they haven't got anything of substance in them. But
whoa.
No, I was going to say as well. Actually, I think the last 3D film I saw in the cinema before this was probably Avatar. I don't think I've seen a 3D film because I think they really went out of vogue. Because
I remember seeing Monsters vs. Aliens.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In 3D?
And it's like there was an era where every film had a 3D screening, and then films would just throw in like 10 seconds of one 3D thing at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like in Monsters vs. Aliens, there's like something that comes through space out the screen, and then I don't remember it ever being used again. It's just like one time, and then the rest of the film you're just watching with like fucking weird, goggles on.
Like black tint to the screen. It was
red and blue.
There was. I mean, there was like. You could tell that there was one shot that were like, we have to get 3D for this one shot. We have to make it worth it for the glasses. And then that was it for 2 hours.
What, with 3?
Or with 3D films.
Oh, yeah. Well, with Avatar 3, I feel like it is well worth it, because it's like, even like in the dialogue scenes, there'll be like the depth perception of like someone being in front of someone being behind someone, and it's not so much popping out the screen, but it's just like adds another layer to the kind of the film that I don't think you'd get watching it 2D.
I was having a discussion with a friend the other day about 4DX. You ever had that with the seat moves?
I've heard about that, and I've never been to see it, but every description of it, like someone told me when I was in school, like, oh yeah, like I'm going to see I went to see this 4DX film, and you're like, oh, what happened? It's like there was like smoke machines, and then like and I was like, that sounds a bit fucking shit. Like just like.
No, my friend was saying he saw Twisters.
Oh yeah, that was 4DX. The most recent kind of 4DX.
Yeah, and he was saying that was actually quite good because obviously that with the
it's like the earthquake simulator at the Natural History Museum.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'd ever do that. I just what's the point? I don't know. Maybe I'd give it a go.
Yeah, I don't know. So some things can be a bit gimmicky, and some things, can actually add depth to a film, and the line is very fine. But I felt like it wasn't much of a gimmick with Avatar. Or at this point, it's so kind of normalized with the Avatar films that I just sunk in and got immersed, and that's what he wants. He wants immersion. So for that effect, it successfully is used. But I kind of noticed the device that he uses in his films, where you get immersed with this like. A beautiful scenery and visuals and like the natural world, and you're seeing them like bond with animals and go underwater and all this shit. And then when the sky people or the colonizers actually invade and just completely destroy everything, you feel yourself being ripped out of the piece of it with everyone, with all the like native people in the film. And I felt like that kind of device is really effective at kind of making you think about the effects of colonization in our world, in the modern world, and you kind of I don't know, it's almost like assimilating it for people that wouldn't have otherwise been able to relate to that experience. I think it's made me think a lot about what's going on in our current day climate.
Yeah, I mean,
which is a lot for a film that some people might just say is a roller coaster ride. So I would disagree in that, primarily being that kind of vibe.
Yeah. What do you mean in that it's not just a roller coaster ride?
Yeah, like there is like some deep themes and messages going on, about how we relate to the world outside of us and the natural world, and also kind of our morals as a civilization.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I think definitely. Yeah,
But yeah, I thought this is actually one of the strongest films so far. But what was your personal opinions on the?
I loved it. Like, yeah, I think obviously there is all of that stuff about colonization, the natural world, etc. But then also it's like so much fun to watch it. Like literally the first shot, they're riding. He's riding with his dead brother on the those dragon things. I can't remember what they're called. And I'm like, I just wanted to get out of my seat and start just like whooping and hollering. It's just, it's like my team had scored. It was great. And yeah, throughout it, you're just constantly in awe of the spectacle. I mean, this is the third one now. There's been over 9 hours of these films, and still I'm like in awe of them. I mean, to be fair, I've not actually seen Avatar 2 since it came out. I've not seen Avatar since 2009. So, like, I'd almost forgotten about it, and then you get sucked back into the world of Pandora, and you're like, why did I ever leave? I love them. I've always loved them. And when everyone was like, oh, why are they doing Avatar 2? Like, who even remembers what the main character's name is? I'm like, who fucking cares? Like, it's so cool. And you never doubt Box Office Jim. He is just one of the, like, greatest in spectacle, I think. And I think there is, like, there is something to be said about the filmmaking that's required there, and that you can't just be any sort of filmmaker and do what James Cameron does. I think he's so good at what he does, and it's really hard to do. Like only like Spielberg, I think, is probably on the same level as him.
I mean, he's so technical with his filmmaking, as well as kind of being able to not let that get in the way of story. Arguably dialogue, but I have some qualms with the dialogue.
Okay. I mean, I see that. Yeah,
but he is so technical, and he never lets things get in the way of his like vision. What's interesting is I've heard that he like the actor who plays Jake.
Sam Worthington.
Sam Worthington's talking about him, and he's saying that like James Cameron has dreams about Avatar, or like I think maybe even the idea.
I'd love to dream if I was in Pandora. I don't think I'd ever wake up.
But like apparently, I think he was saying that he draws ideas from his dreams for Avatar, and it's like what's to say he's not as as creative as David Lynch.
It's the Dream Palace, baby. It's the cinema.
Yeah,
always has been. It's trying to make dreams reality. But yeah, I mean, going on to what you were saying about colonization, the themes of colonization in the film, I do have some qualms with that, and I don't want to just like unabashedly love the film, because there are problems with it, and I think native people have brought these up. The fact that there are no native actors in the film is a problem for me, I think.
Yeah.
To draw so heavily on indigenous cultures and then not feature any indigenous people, I think is a problem.
We're talking about the Native Americans here.
Yeah. I mean,
because there are like different representations of people that even playing like the avatars and or the Na'vi, even the actor of Jake's kind of wife in the film. I can't remember.
Neytiri.
Is she Spanish or Hispanic?
Oh, is that Zoe Saldana?
Yeah,
she's like Spanish. She's I don't know.
Which
Well, let's not speculate on her heritage, but maybe I don't know. But yeah, there's just I think they flew out some native leaders to see the film on the premiere and stuff, and to be fair to James Cameron, he has like protested a prospective pipelines in the US. So have you heard about this? He
no.
So there was a pipeline somewhere. I can't remember where now, but yeah, he was. There's a picture of him like embracing these native people on the at the pipeline in the protest, which is good. Like I mean, using his star power for something important to him and all of this. But then have you heard the quote that he had?
No.
So this resurfaced during the second Avatar film, and he right. So he was This is what he said, right? I felt like I was 130 years back in time watching the Lakota Sioux might have been saying at a point when they were being pushed and they were being killed and they were being asked to displace and they were being given some form of compensation. This was a driving force for me in writing of Avatar. I couldn't help but think of the Lakota Sioux, had a time window and they could see the future and they could see their kids committing suicide at the highest suicide rates in the nation because they were hopeless and they were a dead-end society, which is what is happening now. They would have fought a lot harder. That, for me, is a lot.
Well, isn't he's placing the blame on the fact that they didn't fight back enough against colonizing power?
Yeah, basically. I think he means well by it, but that hasn't come across very well. He's basically saying that they should have fought harder.
I mean, this is the thing, is that it's like you're saying when you see the Na'vi, you're cheering for like your own team scored a point, and I think maybe that's for the perspective that he's talking about, and the whole thing of Avatar is rewriting the history, maybe so that the good guys win, and that the kind of I don't know. There's a certain word for it where it's like but I don't know. There's a fine line between fetishization of it and actually kind of because maybe I don't know what's planned for 4 or 5, but maybe the most brutal and real and kind of illuminating ending would be if like Pandora gets absolutely like pillaged and it just becomes like a
What should happen if they wanted to follow sorry, actual Native American history is they should promise them, if you just go into this area, then we'll leave you alone, and then they'll find minerals in that area, and then they'll go, actually you're going to be forced to this other area, and then they'll bounce to
unobtainium.
Bounce 100 years in the future, and then they'll be just living in absolute squalor and just shacks in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
that would be the most realistic ending.
I just like to throw back how funny it is that they called it unobtainium. This
that is funny.
It's so he puts so much effort into the technology and all this stuff. He's so clever, and he's like, what should we call this like really, really rare resource that the humans are after? Oh no, unobtainium. Yeah, brilliant. That's good actually. I see what you did there. James Cameron.
Box office Jim.
But yeah, it's I don't know, this film kind of is weird with the fact that there's another tribe that are introduced, the Ash tribe, I think they're called, where it's like, and there's that woman, and then she's kind of got this thing with the colonel.
Angkor, was it an Angkor or something?
Yeah.
Something like that. I can't remember.
Very horny.
Very horny, yeah. But it's good. I mean, there was a lot of that in like Native American history of certain tribes actually working with their colonial overlords or whatever, and because they thought it would further them. And
I mean, I guess the thing with this film is it really goes into the scalping element of things, which is like you're not kind of really hiding your influence there at all, which in the previous ones it was maybe a bit more open to interpretations.
One other qualm I have with the native representation, I think this has been brought up but in articles I've read about and native people talking about the film, is that yes, like they've used inspiration from lots of different native people, Native Americans, native, to Canada as well, and some of the South American indigenous people, and like a Maori of New Zealand. But then all of it, they've used all of that, but then also it doesn't feel defined. Like there's a mishmash of different cultures, like Cree is a big one, but then also the Lakota Sioux, but then they've merged all of this stuff, but none of it is like defined as to one area of...
They're also cats.
Cats?
Yeah.
Where?
They got the cat ears and they hiss and that. They're like pretty much cats as well.
Yeah, no, they are. And but it's just like they don't have enough like definition as to what certain tribe that they're referencing, or it's just a mismatch of different tribes.
It's an amalgamation of things, which is fine to a certain extent, but then it's like, like you say, is it just like a fetishization of like oppressed people, or is it like, what's it, how is it going to portray or throw the hat with respect and diligence to these cultures? Yeah, it's kind of a fine line. But like outside of the kind of political ideals of the film, going to a basis of like the core heart of the film. I felt like I really felt about the theme of morality in it, and like the fact that the Colonel has become kind of a counterpoint to Jake, because they're both in the same situation of being like, kind of their only way they can live their life now is through the guise of an avatar, as you know, one of the Na'vi people. And you know, throughout the film, the Colonel gets sort of enlightened to their life by joining together with this other tribes member, and he kind of, you know, gets an insight into the more culture and nature, and you know, living in a bit more tranquility. But he still uses his kind of leverage to you know, get revenge on Jake, and to, you know, be hateful, and to, he's not even serving the military anymore. It's just, he's just acting on like this really dark side in him, whereas Jake's kind of chosen the other path to, you know. And I found that very interesting, to kind of like the amount of chances that the Colonel was given to, you know, do the right thing and, you know, help the Na'vi people, or, you know, kind of you know, call off like an attack or something in previous films. And it's like, nah, he just is hell-bent on, you know, destruction and getting his revenge, and, you know, appeasing his ego.
Yeah, another thing, yeah, to bring back to the Colonel that you were just talking about, a constant thing throughout the film, the third one, was Jake being like, "Oh, you need to open your eyes." Like the Na'vi have a word for, you know, when they see for the first time how everything is connected, and it's like you can see that they're like prepping that redemption arc for the Colonel, and I don't like that.
Well, maybe they're prepping it. I don't know. I was like, it's going to go two ways, I think.
Yeah,
but there is. I reckon there is a world where he's written into the script to like die in sacrifice of himself to save. You know, I feel like that's probably on the cards.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but we'll see. I will certainly be in the cinema.
But yeah, he is developing. He is kind of straying from like the human military side of himself. So there is kind of, yeah, you're right. They are setting that arc up. But I also find it the kind of ironic James Cameron as a filmmaker uses lots of technology and CGI to illuminate the beauty of the natural world. Like, it just seems like kind of like an oxymoron. Like, he's like, yeah, like, you know, appreciate nature through all this like CGI computer shit that I'm doing.
Yeah. No, I actually hadn't thought of that, but yeah, that's
and
true.
It's like, is it something he's playing into, or like, is it I don't know, it's just like a weird.
Yeah. Did you hear? Apparently, he had the idea for Avatar in the 90s, and he was like, the technology doesn't exist yet for me to bring this to real life. And so you had to wait till 2009 to release that. Oh, that was quite cool.
Yeah. Box office hit.
Yeah, well, not quite as big as the other two, but yeah, still over $1 billion.
Grossed $1 billion.
Yeah, which is nothing to, you know, scoff at.
But the critical reception's probably the worst, maybe, out of, I don't know what The Way of Water got, but this one is like, there's like 66% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics.
Just really only 66%.
Yeah, I've seen lots of criticism about it. Lots of people kind of really disconnecting from the core message and sort of just seeing it as this like, you know, vague technological feat that it doesn't really connect emotionally with people, as well. A lot of people have been saying.
See, I disagree with that completely. Like that scene where the little kid, like, you know, one of the Sullys, they interrupt the meeting of the elders and the whales. God, I can't remember the name of the whales now.
They're called Tolkien's,
that's right. Yeah, yeah, and I think that's like genuinely really emotional. Like, you can see how much he cares about the Tolkiens and the, you know, the animals that inhabit the world with them, and yeah, I don't know. I think there is a lot of emotion. I think also what you could say is that the emotional beats by the third film are getting a little repetitive.
Yeah, but the thing is, as a former Avatar hater, I used to think it was like super tacky and like, yeah, just like loads of technology going into this film for like, you know, just it's just for the sake of like technical prowess rather than that. But you know, I've changed my tune on it, so I do get the opinion of like the people saying they can't emotionally relate to it, because sometimes it can be hard when it's just like a wall of CGI. But I felt like this one was the most emotionally resonant one for me.
No, really? Okay, that's interesting.
But I do understand why people don't like it, but then I also think there's a certain kind of like, I don't know, there's a kind of kickback towards it that I felt. It's a, you know, It's the same sort of vibe as someone that likes rock and they can't appreciate electronic music because it's like, or like, you know, Bob Dylan going electric, James Cameron went CGI.
Yeah, James Cameron's just like Bob Dylan, I think. Yeah. But no, I mean, going back to what you were saying about the critical reception, just anecdotally, I don't think it's being talked about as much as the second one was. Because the second one was like, oh my god, it's been like 13 years and we just get a new one.
And it's in water now, so this is a new thing.
But then, yeah, like the third one comes and everyone's like, oh, there's going to be another 2 of these. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about them, but I get the feeling that not everybody is.
Yeah, no, some people I'm like, oh, Avatar, and they just kind of roll their eyes. Oh, why are you talking to me about Avatar 3? That's so like so like 10 years ago.
It sucks to me because we'll get another fucking 500 Marvel films, but
I think people are clocking out of that too.
Yeah,
that had
true.
its time with Endgame. Everyone's talking shit about Doctor Doom.
Oh,
I was in the cinemas with you when we were in the cinemas to watch Avatar 3, and they had a trailer, and it was just started off with X-Men, and I was like, oh, I fucking, in a way, I love X-Men, the kind of old shit films that they used to make. There was kind of like a charm to them, and you know, you see Patrick Stewart in the wheelchair, and I was like, fuck yeah, and then it dropped. Marvel like fucking Doomsday, and I was like, oh fuck that then.
The X-Men will be in Avengers Doomsday. Fuck off. Jesus Christ, putting that in a trailer. I didn't think when I was a kid, I didn't think we'd have to say goodbye to the X-Men so many times. How many times have we said? So there was the last X-Men film, right? And then there was Logan, and then there was I don't know, there was other ones as well. I just like leave them alone.
My toxic X-Men. Just keeps coming back.
Just leave Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen alone. I think they're too old to be in movies now.
Well, Hunt for Gollum is in the works.
Oh yeah, Ian McKellen's going to be in that.
Which is,
are they going to CGI him? Do you reckon, like De Niro in Irishman? No. Because it's set before Lord of the Rings, and now he's so much older.
Yeah, but then he comes back as Gandalf the White, and through his reincarnation, I feel like he's more powerful then than he is as Gandalf the Grey. Like, especially if you watch the movies, they kind of portray that. You know, he's majestic and shining, and when he comes back reincarnated as Gandalf the White, but as Gandalf the Grey, he just a fiend for the weed. What's it called? Took weed.
I don't know. I've not read the books.
Pondweed? I can't remember what they smoke, man.
Pondweed.
This is gonna annoy me. I'm gonna have to get my assistant to look this up.
I want my drug dealer to Stardog Pondweed.
What weed do they smoke in Middle Earth?
What weed do they? They're off that
Pipe.
strawberry
It's just called
kush.
pipeweed.
A pipeweed. Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Pondweed's better, I think.
And a hobbit invented tobacco-like plant with varieties such as Old Toby. That's what I know.
Old Toby?
Yeah,
is that what it's called?
Well, they've got Old Toby, Southern Star, and Longbottom Leaf. You got you got Golden Virginia.
I'm off that Old Toby, man.
You got Golden Virginia, Holborn, and Amberleaf.
Is it called Golden Virginia?
No, it's Old Toby, Southern Star, and Longbottom Leaf.
Oh god, Longbottom Leaf.
Yeah, I went down a YouTube rabbit hole recently of seeing just like old guys smoking tobacco pipes and reading Lord of the Rings.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Nice. We should get into pipe smoking. 2026.
It's on the cards.
It is. I think we should watch old westerns and smoke pipes.
I think we should get our hands on some Longbottom Leaf. Some Old Toby.
What was the other one? Black Star or something?
Southern Star.
Southern Star. That sounds like a Texas beer you can only find in like, you know, very certain shops or something.
Very certain, very political ideal shops. James Cameron.
Box Office Jim.
Do you think he's going to direct 4? Or do you think Avatar 4 or 5 are going to get made?
That guy's old.
He's 71.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, how long did this take to make? He could be like, if he gets it to 80, 82. He looks in pretty good shape, to be fair.
Yeah, no, he does look good, to be fair.
He looks like 60.
Yeah, I always think with like, Richard Linklater's obviously like big in like actual aging and like filming. Like Boyhood was filmed over 12 years or whatever. But like, what if someone just dies? Do they have a plan B? Do they go back and do reshoots, or do they just act like they died off screen? What would happen? Like, if Ethan Hawke died during the making of Boyhood, what would they have done? Do you know what I mean? Like, because I mean, James Cameron dying, I guess, isn't too big of a deal. They can get someone else. I mean, obviously, it'd be a big deal to me, but like, I don't know. Just like, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's a risk.
I guess it does happen because it happened in Harry Potter, and it happened.
Who died in Harry Potter?
Michael Gambon.
The Dumbledore.
Dumbledore, yeah. And then
Yeah, he was only in one film, so he hadn't. The track record wasn't too bad.
Anyway, yeah. No, sorry, what were you going to say about James Cameron?
No, I was just like, do you think the fourth or fifth is going to get made? Because I think they needed profits to assure that they'd even invest in 4 or 5, and it's doubled its. I think it took about 500 million to make, from my research. So they've doubled their profits.
Yeah, I saw 400 million, but yeah. Yeah, the thing I saw was when James Cameron agreed to do all of the sequels, he was like, you have to make sure all of the sequels will be made. Like, I want that in the contract, that like, no matter how much it makes, I will be able to do all of them. But then I read in an article recently, it's like, oh, actually, 4th and 5th are a bit up in the air. So maybe only the 2nd and 3rd were guaranteed. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he was expecting to end it by the 3rd, and then he was just, got carried away.
No, because when they all got announced, I remember thinking, oh my God, there's going to be 4 more films. And, but yeah, that's a long way off to guarantee those films. And if they cost so much, and there's a guarantee of box office. I mean, there kind of is with Avatar now, I guess. But, yeah, but no, I did read an article that said, it grossing over 1 billion and it costing 400 million to produce. Does that mean it will be guaranteed? I think probably.
I don't know, because I also heard that he wants to make a movie adaptation of this book, Last Train to Hiroshima, and apparently he's really passionate about that. So it's like, I think if 3 and 4 don't get made, he's just going to go do that.
That sounds cheery. No, my worst nightmare would be if they did do 4 and 5 without Jim Cameron and they got like fucking Colin Trevorrow to do it or something. I don't think I'd watch them, because Colin Trevorrow's the guy that did the Jurassic World films.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. God, what a dog shit director. Anyway,
the technology in Avatar, do you know much about it? They do like underwater kind of like
they used to actually film it?
Yeah, like...
Oh, no, I don't know, not really. I've not really gone that into it.
Well, there is a documentary on Disney. I've not seen all of it, but there's, I think it's called Avatar Water and Fire or something, Fire and Water, and it's about the making of the last 2 films and goes into very much detail on how they do the motion tracking in the tank. And, there's a lot of actors in it that are saying, because of how you wear all this like motion tracking stuff, it's crazy. You've got like, you've got the balls on, those big balls that you see and like stuck to your head, and then they've got like loads of these little dimple like dots all across their face that track like their face muscles.
That looks like it'd be awful to try and act in.
And there's like 100 infrared cameras as well.
Oh, really?
But for instance, for the female. The female protagonist Avatar, Na'vi, Neytiri. She's got like, the actor's got like a little head thing with like dreads, like fake dreads on it, just to like simulate what that feels like. And I don't know, they're talking about how it is kind of the purest form of acting. I just want to know what your thought on that is, because you've not got any distractions around you. You've got to fully imagine that you're in Pandora. And I saw a thing, apparently they have on the screens, they can instantly put them in Pandora, so the people watching behind the screens can be like, see what it's going to look like roughly. Yeah, I imagine it looks a bit sketch, but like still.
Yeah. I imagine it'd be like you ever seen behind the scenes of when they do the weather report on the news, and they're standing in front of a green screen and they have to stare at the screen whilst pointing at the green screen? That always feels like it would trip me up.
Yeah,
like,
I can do that.
I couldn't do that. And like not have I'd just be constantly having to stare at myself, and I don't like doing that. I don't listen to the podcast. I don't like listening to myself, let alone watching myself move. I'm like, who is this guy? But I just I don't.
You're not the only one.
I don't think I could do that. I think that looks like an awful form of acting, because you learn. I mean, okay, yeah, like theatre. is okay the original form of acting, and they had, I mean, you know, most of the time they had very like bare bones sets, but like
you're bouncing off energies and like, you know, other people.
Is that the purest form of acting?
Which they are kind of, they do act together in the scenes, like, you know, the battle between Jake and the Colonel, the actors are actually like battling it out, but with the suits on.
Is the purest form of acting when you've got balls stuck to your face? I just don't think that's... I don't know that it is, James. Sorry, buddy.
Is it?
I love
Sure.
you, but I have some questions about that one. I don't know.
Well, I think
mean,
it's
the
just, you're
acting,
removed of environment and you're removed of like immersion, and you're kind of having to just convey the emotions from within yourself rather than, you know, drawing on the surroundings and the set and everything, which can be much more difficult.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's.
And I think it speaks volumes to like the emotional relatability of the film. That you know, I was emotionally moved by the film, and it's like the fact that technology can convey that. And he's obviously putting a lot of intention and effort into that. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for sure. I think maybe there is something to be said there about not having everything around you that you would normally have, but then still managing to get like a very moving performance out of someone. I think would be really good. I don't know if the acting in the film is that good.
What, like, you don't... I can't... you know,
no, I loved the film. I think it was great. The dialogue and acting
the dialogue
best
isn't
parts.
great, no. The dialogue, I would like to say, is...
You have some major qualms about that.
Yeah.
You told me afterwards.
Yeah, it's also like shitty one-liners and like, wee-oo, but like, my biggest qualm with the film is fucking Spider-Man. Like, one of the worst...
I don't remember.
No, Spider. One of the worst written characters of all time. Like, it feels like he's there to appease to like the fucking 6-year-old who doesn't want to be there, and then they've got this little gimp to root for who's like fucking... First off, he's a white guy with dreads. Those are always the worst
to be
people.
Fair, that's not... Yeah, I mean, that is pretty
And
bad.
he's like, every scene, like, it's like the bit, there's a... Okay, spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched it. There's a bit at the end where he gets like, he goes through into Awa, into like, you know, he gets connected spiritually to the system, and he goes through into the dream world, and then he goes and meets his mum for the first time, who's died, you know, at childbirth or whatever, and then they're like, you know, you're one of us now, and he goes, oh fuck yeah, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, it's an emotional moment. He's seeing his mum, and he's just got to drop a shit one-liner in there, like, he completely ruins immersion. Any build-up of me being like, okay, maybe I could get along with this character just got thrown out the window there. Like, whose choice was it? Let's make the gimpy little kid just be like, fuck yeah, dude, eat my shorts, like, fuck off.
He is like Bart.
He's like Bart Simpson, but in
Bart dreads. Eat my
cultural
shorts,
appropriation, Bart. And yeah, he's just yeah.
The bit where he says, what is it he says? What's funny to me is that the line is like, these buttholes. And it's like but the thing is also a little bit charming in that he clearly knows that there is some sort of insult that humans use called like arseholes. But then he like can't. He doesn't quite know it because he's not spent that much time around humans.
Oh, so you think it's well written?
I don't know about that, but I don't know. I couldn't stop laughing when he said buttholes in the film. It's just like, I mean, this is a major motion picture.
And I was like, in my head, I was trying to, I think afterwards I might have said to you, I was like, you know what, we've got to cut him some slack, because he's the only real actor in it for, you know, he's probably doing all these scenes by himself, talking to like, you know, like foam cutouts of avatars or whatever. But then I've seen the behind the scenes, and I've seen the fact that the actors are talking to each other, and it's all real time, and I'm like, no, okay, there's no excusing this. He's either a bad actor, or he's been given, it could be both. Been given a really shitty script. And like, I
think it's a bit of both there. I don't think he's a particularly good actor.
And like, it's just he's got this like the dreads, and his name's Spider, and it's just like,
yeah, that is funny.
It's just like so
But
surface level
there's
fucking
not exactly
writing.
like they have shampoo on Pandora.
It's fine. It's not the dreads or why is he called Spider? Like, fuck's sake.
Why is he called Spider? I don't know. Also, do they explain how he was Quaritch's son, but then became in possession of the Na'vi people? Like, how did that... Did they explain that in the second one? I can't remember.
I don't know. I just tuned out whenever they're talking about that guy. Can't stand him, man. So Spider is definitely a big downside of the film.
Spider #problematic.
That's yeah.
Nice, great podcasting. Moment of silence, and just walk up into the mic.
Gonna cut it out in post.
Yeah, let's.
Frame rates. Did you notice anything weird when we were watching the film? Because I kind of picked up on it, and then with my research afterwards, I found out that there's the alternating frame rates where it's like super high frame rates for some scenes, and then it just like completely tanks and goes down to 24 frames per second.
I assume that was something to do with the IMAX. That there was obviously, because they can't film the whole thing in IMAX unless your name's Christopher Nolan. So there are parts of it obviously that are IMAX cameras, parts of it that aren't. I assume that was why. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea, but like it's really weird because the choice to use the high frame rate is like at certain times during a conversation it'll be running like, I'm like, this is so smooth, but they're just like talking and it's very stationary and it's like, you don't need this. And then it'll be an action scene and I can just see it visually, like it like drops down to like less frames than a PS2 game, and you're like fuck. And I was like, oh yeah, it did kind of break the immersion, and I don't really know what James Cameron's obsession is with the frame rates.
Yeah, the second one, that was a real downside for me with the second one, is the frame rates. It did look like a cutscene the entire time. And I wasn't fussed on that, but it was less of a problem for me. Maybe it was the IMAX 3D that changed that, but yeah, I thought it was less of a problem with this one.
I looked up some scholar articles. Did some deep research. So I read an article about race colonization and constructed languages. The Case of James Cameron's Avatar, auteur, by Alexandra Lambert.
Okay.
And it talks about how science fiction is commonly, it's not new, like science fiction has been used as a method to kind of reflect our own society for years. Star Trek was doing it back in the day, and it's always been a way of inherently kind of bringing issues to light and exploring relationships with the unknown and the other, which in the article was making a case about the kind of quote unquote the other being at one point in time the other would have been the Native American people to the colonizers, and that kind of fear mongering that is used, and the kind of dismissal of all of their values because they have different ideals. And then there was a weird bit in the article about how the Avatar kind of represents someone of race of different race having to acclimatize to a colonizer's culture, but it's like obviously it's the reverse way because it's the colonizer having to integrate into. But they're kind of talking about how you lose your own culture through having to get used to what is now the new norm, enforced by the colonizers. Yeah. But yeah, also like science fiction is speculative fiction, which is narratives that could potentially take place but haven't yet. And, I feel like Avatar is totally speculative fiction because, Elon Musk wants to fucking fly to Mars and, fucking mine shit. I don't know what he was, to get water. I don't know. Fucking try and get Grimes back.
God, I hope there's 9-foot blue people on Mars.
Oh, yeah, that's the fucking funniest thing is that there's a quote, James Cameron, someone else, the concept artist working on avatars. So, James Cameron pitched him the idea, but they had to come up with obviously the art. And James Cameron said, quote unquote, Cameron's main ideal for the female character was for the audience to want to fuck her.
Well, you succeeded, James.
Box office Jim.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say on everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've done pretty well there, Paul.
Yeah, knocked out. I didn't even check the length of this. I feel like we might have gone on a bit too long, but oh no, an hour and 6 minutes.
Oh, is that what that's saying?
Well, good job that we chatted a load of shit, and I can edit it down because
to 15 minutes.
15 minutes of usable content.
Was this unlistenable, do you think? I think this was alright.
If you made it this far, right in.
If you made it to over an hour in...
Well, it's not going to be an hour. It's going to be whittled down.
Yeah.
into a sharp and succinct point on Avatar 3. Fire and Ash. Also, it's not called Avatar 3, it's just called Avatar Fire and Ash, and I feel like the 3 needs to be more talked about.
Yeah, where did the 3 go?
Tune in next time
Will we
to
find out
find
where the 3
out
went?
where the 3 in Avatar 3 went. I mean...